So one day, I got an email from Steam. Hades 2 and one other item from your wishlist is now on sale. Okay, so I go look what the other item is, because I do know what Hades 2 is. And to my surprise, it was a title called KRIMSON. I had no idea what that was. Didn't remember I put it on my wishlist at some point, so I go check the store page. KRIMSON is a challenging rhythm platformer featuring heavy electronic metal music. Ah. Oh, okay, I think I remember this. I think I saw it on some YouTube video about hidden indie gems. It's the hellish rhythm platformer. €5. Alright, I think it's time to give it a shot. And oh boy, was I in shock. I mean, I knew I would love the music and the visuals before I even bought the game. I crave this kind of brain-melting, eye-piercing, hot, molten metal madness of fire and lava with the most brutal, destructive, devastating argent metal to melt your eyes too vibe. Okay, but what did I not expect was that KRIMSON is designed in such a perfectly fun, challenging way that it resonated with me so much to the point of making a video about it. Welcome to the most madness-inducing, hellish, precision platformer, KRIMSON. Besides the obviously awesome visuals, I was worried about one thing, however. KRIMSON is a so-called precision platformer. Though for this specific kind of game, I kinda prefer calling this genre an assault on the senses game, but okay, back to the platformers. I didn't play Celeste. I played Super Meat Boy when I was a kid, and I was terrible at it, so my only hope was that KRIMSON wouldn't be too challenging. I mean, I like challenging games, but mainly in the shooter genre or like survival horrors and stuff, not precision platformers. However, upon first launching the game and getting through a bunch of levels, I must say KRIMSON is not just a ridiculously good precision platformer, it's also a perfectly designed gaming challenge. I won't spoil the game too much here, because I would like you to try the game for yourself after this video, but the formula here is so simple, yet so addicting and fun. The game is separated into 4 very distinct biomes, or in-game called circles, as in circles of hell. The first being a blood swamp, second a greedy industrial complex, third a ridiculous LSD acid trip, and fourth and final an actual inferno, full of fire and lava. Each circle presents a new gimmick that will be central to the biome. It might be conveyor belts, bounce pads, gravity changes, shape-shifting obstacles, there is many. But what's especially fun about these is that each circle throws its levels at you in a predictable way. You will always start the first level that introduces the gimmick, then the next level takes that gimmick and gives you the Godzilla level version of it, basically. And aside from a few exceptions, this is how it works 90% of the time. What's so good about this is it makes for a really satisfying gameplay loop and challenge, where you always have the easy version of a gimmick to ease you into it, but then you have the hardcore version that really tests your skills with those given gimmicks, which may or may not also combine with each other later on. This creates an amazing gameplay pace, where you can chill play one level and then lock in for the next. But that's not all. Aside from the levels essentially working in an AB-AB pattern, the in-level obstacles themselves also work in a similar pattern. It's not always exactly AB-AB, but it ramps up its difficulty as you progress the level. Since KRIMSON at its core is a rhythm game, the badass part of all of this is that, of course, the music ramps up with the level as well. The game features checkpoints, of which there are enough. There are a couple of segments that are a little test of endurance, but for the most part, the game is generous both with its checkpoints and its hitboxes. On each checkpoint touch, the music ramps up, and with it, the difficulty of the obstacles. Here's just one of the dozens of fantastic examples in this game. The mechanics of KRIMSON are simple, but powerful. You move with classic WASD, you can double jump with space, and most powerful of all, you can stick to walls by holding the appropriate direction key and accelerate by jumping stick to the wall, so in a way glazing along the walls. This is insanely powerful in every biome except the final one. In the 4th circle, Inferno, the game completely switches up the formula for one final stretch. Now instead, you have infinite jumps. so you can effectively fly across the levels and it completely changes the challenge. Which is awesome, by the way, and it's what you saw me doing in the video's intro. Now, with all of that information in mind, I'd like to present a little simple example of one of the segments in Crimson that solidifies my point with this video, and why you should play it if you're looking for an audiovisual insanity that hides a perfect gaming challenge. So we are in the first circle, the Crimson, or the Blood Swamp, Meat Swamp, Crimson Swamp, whatever you wanna call it. This isn't too far into the game, so we start off by falling off these cubes, and quickly learn that they change their size to the rhythm. Alright, pretty easy introductory mini-level. What's next? Well now, the music ramps up. The cubes are now above dangerous spiky ground, so we have to be a bit more careful jumping these. But not a big deal. Thanks to the wall stickiness of ours, you can effectively ignore the danger and just glide through. Now upon reaching the checkpoint it's slightly trickier, as the cubes can crush you when they enlarge, so you have to be a bit more precise and fast. Alright, doable. Well, now we have to do it vertically while sticking to the wall. Quite a bit harder, as you have to control the falling velocity, which in Crimson is actually the most unforgiving part, as the falling speed is pretty damn fast compared to the rest of the movement. This is also the first bit where I die in this level, and oh man, the dying audiovisual distortion is so horrendous, I love it. It scratches a weird part of my brain and it kinda like imposes me into doing better in the level, or I'll like have to hear that terrible screech again. Alright. One final bit. We've done it horizontally, vertically. Well, what's left? Diagonal, of course. So now this is really timing dependent, as the space is fairly narrow. Downhill it's fairly easy though, it's just about timing really. Well, now comes the problem. Now do it uphill. Now you have to really use what you've learned about the rhythm and the basic game mechanics to reach the top. Here we go. With a little bit of precision, mechanics and proper timing, we've reached the top. Now, you see how Crimson presents its challenges in such a fun and always like unpredictable way? Well, not really unpredictable in a sense that you wouldn't expect it to ramp up. Like, of course you expect the obstacle to ramp up. But how will it ramp up? That's always the question, and like, what's the next evolution of this obstacle course? Like, it just presents a simple idea, but then it elevates it into like a Godzilla version of itself, and it's just so funny. I wish more games have done this in like a bit more, what's the word? Like a bit more obvious way, because of course you have difficulties in games that slowly ramp up, like the enemies are stronger, they have more health, they maybe do more damage, but Crimson like presents an obstacle and then makes it like more creative. It starts being more creative with its obstacles, and it's just really, it's so fun, it's so fun. But even with all of this, throughout the entire run, I've never really felt overwhelmed. Like, it was always doable, it always felt doable. There are some really hard levels for sure. I died a lot, but nothing I wouldn't be able to do as someone who's mechanically skilled, but not someone who plays the precision platformer genre, like, ever. So there you have it. Not a particularly long and deep video really, but I just wanted to shed some more light on this little hidden indie gem, as it doesn't really have many reviews on Steam, and I think it definitely deserves more players trying it out and giving it a fair chance. So if even one person decides to buy it after this video, I'd consider this a success. And big kudos to the developer for an amazing platformer. Really well done. Enjoyed it throughout and also left a positive review for you on Steam. Have fun everyone, and see you.